So I think right now they're pulling some of the boats out of the water to work on them or just to keep them out of the water for the winter time. This is Rockaway Beach, so everything's very seasonal here. It's very busy in the summertime, very active. Everyone's out here chilling, hanging on the back of their boats, throwing little parties and whatnot. And then in the wintertime, I don't know where everybody goes, but they're not hanging out at the beach. So, oh, they got the swans. Hey y'all, my name is Paul Godette. I'm here with Christian today, showing you guys my workshop and everything that goes on here and all the projects that I'm working on right now. This is a surfboard repair shop, so my bread and butter is just repairing surfboards. Wintertime is really slow right now, so I'm also working on a bunch of other projects. I'm from Far Rockaway, New York. I was born and raised here. I went to primary, elementary, and high school, all on the peninsula here. My dad lived here his whole life. Moved here in January. My shop was right there. It was a bit smaller. It was half the size of the one that I'm at now. And now I moved to the other side where all the shop workers and they're more accepting of like dust and resin and stuff. The smell and the fumes is strong and toxic. So there's a lot of creatives and interesting people that are at the marina. So super inspiring to be around everyone. It's a very seasonal town because it's a beach town. So many people come to Rockaway in the summertime during the warmer months and they leave during the winter months. A lot of businesses thrive on traffic from the city in the summer months. Rockaway is also accessible by public transit and by mass transit, connected by bridges, we're connected by subways. It's one of the most accessible surfing beaches, at least in New York City. And I think that makes it very special. What we're doing now is called a surf check. Surf check is pretty much when you go to the beach and you want to check out the waves to see if the conditions are good enough to where you want to paddle out and actually have a surf. I liked Rockaway before. You know, it was always cool living out here. It always felt like it was a little bit away from the action of Manhattan and Brooklyn. It always seemed like everything was happening over there. And I grew up skateboarding, so we always went to the city to go and skate. However, once I started surfing, I developed my own connection to the neighborhood. And so now I love it. Now I only want to stay in Rockaway. I don't want to leave. I don't like going to the city. I'm also a surfboard shaper, still learning. I'm a beginner shaper, but I am making surfboards. So this is a blank that I shaped with the help of, I have some really good mentors that's like guiding me through the process. So this is a board that I'm copying. So I've always had this like creativity and artistic aspect about myself. I was working in the architecture field. Once COVID hit, I got laid off. Since I got laid off, I had decided to work locally in Station Surf Shop. Eventually, I start fixing boards for the surf shop. As I'm progressing in surfing, I'm damaging my board consistently. That's just something that happens. It's like your board is going to get a ding eventually. You need to either pay someone else to fix it or fix it yourself. Over time, I'm getting better. I'm learning the craft, and then I start fixing boards for customers of the shop. And just slowly, I'm just building, I guess, a reputation as someone that can do that type of work. And now we're here years later with my own space. So I've been able to recently dive into learning how to shape surfboards, which is another big field of knowledge on its own. I feel like it's very artistic. Learning it is definitely an art, is a craft to it, for sure. And I'm super appreciative to have the space to actually practice. So this was the first surfboard I shaped. It's a short board and it works. Like it doesn't work amazing, but it works well enough from start to finish to actually ride something that I created. It's a different experience. Like it's hard to explain how like I just feel the connections now, you know, between curves and feeling. Like super happy, super stoked to have gotten this first one out of the way. You know, I'm just getting better and better with every board. In New York specifically, there's not many people that do ding repair. There's not many people that shape surfboards. I love being able to work directly one-on-one with people. I love working with my hands, being crafty in that way. This whole time I'm like learning, I'm doing my own research, I'm increasing my knowledge on how to do this efficiently, how to produce aesthetically an amazing result, how to also do repairs that are quality, that are really strong, that people can rely on. When I'm repairing a surfboard, you have to be creative because every single board is designed differently. And creativity comes into play because one board's damage is never the same as another one. Each time I get a job for ding repair, I'm dealing with a different problem. It requires you to be flexible in your thinking and in the way that you're working. I love that. I love that. It keeps it very fresh. Every time I come in, it's problem solving. I'm looking at it. I'm going through my mind how to repair it before I even start. How are we gonna color match this? How are we gonna sand it to shave? How are we gonna do this in a way where it's strong but also light? Is it made of carbon? There's the material science behind it. Learning how to work with different materials in different conditions with different foams. So ding repair really opened my mind and my life up to all these new things. I first went surfing when I was 17 and I rented a board with my friend. And then when I was 20 or 21, I got a chance to have a board of my own talking about surfing. I didn't know how to swim until I got to high school. A coach came to our high school and was trying to help kids get jobs, specifically jobs as a lifeguard. But the only way you become a lifeguard is if you know how to swim and pass that training program. That was my connection to swimming off the bat, because if I didn't know how to swim, I wouldn't have had the confidence to even try surfing. Growing up here, I'm also seeing people surfing. I'm seeing the culture because I'm just here. I go to the beach. Surfing seems to like consume my mind all the time. It doesn't end at the beach. Even though I'm not in the act of surfing, I might be like thinking about the next surf trip I want to go on. I might be checking the conditions on my phone because we're always checking the weather and seeing when the waves are coming, especially in New York. While we may not spend as much time surfing, I think mentally we're also very consumed with it. In order to surf, you have to make it your lifestyle. New York in general breeds more like hardcore surfers because of the changing conditions, because of how cold it gets in the winter time. It doesn't go on any of our schedules. Like when the waves are good, you might have work. Surfing happens on the timing of the planet. It doesn't happen on your timing. You have to change your life in order to surf. It's not the other way around. Nowadays, there's definitely a lot more Black and African American and indigenous communities surfing, and Rockaway is definitely one of the special ones. Plenty of organizations that are helping to get people into the water, helping get people swim and surf education, because it's important that we have that. Historically, we have been excluded from that knowledge, systemically also, not just culturally. It's a big part of why there's such a push for us to gain this knowledge and for us to share it with our families, is because now we're understanding that it wasn't just that Black people didn't want to go to the water and learn how to swim. It's because of segregation and because we were kept away from certain spaces like beaches and pools. So we understand that there was that separation and that we want to tap back into that knowledge. We want to gain it. We want to pass it on to our kids. I think that's why I love surfing, is that it extends beyond the act of surfing itself. It becomes who you are as a person. I became a surfer. I don't just go surfing. So I had a lot of fun today going around. Thanks, Christian, for coming through and highlighting my journey in surfing and in repairing and shaping boards. Really appreciate you guys for watching. Super stoked to have everyone and super stoked to share this experience and share what I'm doing, my art and my work with you. So peace. Today, I think the waves are going to be flat. I don't think the conditions are going to be good at all, but it's also very cold today, so I don't mind not surfing today, but I'm glad y'all are here in